Hey everybody, it's Jeff with Half-Assed Gaming. Today we're talking about a little different game that I became interested in when it was free on the Epic Store. It's called Recipe for Disaster. Now you know how much I really enjoy the simulator type games, and this is kind of like a simulator, but more so like The Sims almost, except you're building your own restaurant and you're completing kind of quests inside of these different scenarios. There's also a sandbox mode, which you can do as well, and there's a pretty good tutorial on how everything works. So I'm going to record a little gameplay for you, and then we'll talk about it as I go. Let's see what kind of recipes we can come up with. Now in this current game that I'm playing right now, and I will show you I can show you the tutorials and the start of the game, but right now I'll kind of show you what happens when you get into your game. Now I've designed this entire restaurant here. It's a little bit different than when we started with. The goal of this was that it was basically this big over here, this small area here, and you had to create 8 tables so you can again have these objectives met over on this right hand side of the screen. I've gotten everything done except for the bonus, so I do want to buy the other 2 plots of land so that I can complete the full bonus. And there is always a lose condition. So if the 2 people that these are the owners, I believe, that are also working in the restaurant, if they quit or they're fired because they're underperforming, then you lose this particular objective, and then you would have to restart doing this again. So it looks pretty simple because again it is kind of like The Sims looking with certain aspects of the caricatures and how the text looks, or the textures look rather. And I just noticed that this is not a painted wall, so we'll show you how to do that first. There we go, paint our wall. I don't think I changed anything else in here, so we should be good. There's a number of different things that you have to pay attention to in this. A lot of ambiance is important, which is over here in the top right. There's a star. It shows you what your restaurant looks like. As long as you're in the green in areas, good lighting is very helpful, as well as no dirt, and things have to be clean. Obviously, the kitchen is not going to be green because it's very loud in there. Lots of people moving around, lots of equipment. But again, same thing with like the bathrooms. You want to make sure that they're as green as you can possibly make them. I should probably do some different designs, like these pictures over here are in a better condition than the shield and sword above the toilet, so maybe that should be changed, as well as outside. Outside, you need to make sure that you have your greenery sorted. I've actually gone so far as to create an outside seating area if it was necessary, because it did mention something about being outside. Anytime there's trash, like this trash bin, will naturally create a poor ambiance around it, so you'll have to amplify that with some bushes. So I'll show you, I have a couple of extra dollars here. I can kind of put a bush here, and you'll see that it kind of gets a little tinge of green now going with it. And if we zoom in, you can add, like for instance, a light out here. We'll do like a external light right there. And you can see that really bolsters that green color there, which is important. Again, the windows here are providing inside light coming outside, so it's showing up green there as well. So the ambiance indicator is very important in this game. That basically the clients, your customers, tell you that they like it or they don't. Very important. And you can turn the walls off by pressing the Z key. You can turn them all off, or you can build them up, and when you get close, it'll disappear. I like to leave it on this one, which leaves the wall on the back side visible, so it will switch as you rotate, which is nice. So at the beginning of every day, rather, which is where we are now, it always begins with the build menu. So you can go ahead and you can change anything you like. You can add lights, you can move things around, you can build stuff. I actually built this whole section over here before I had enough money to do the rest of it. So I was constantly building as I was working over here. This was the dining hall before until I made this part. So I've been doing a lot of work here, and I'll show you one of the tutorials here coming up and kind of walk you through how I do it. I'll show you some gameplay on this particular one, show you how kind of fast-paced it can be, and what you need to look out for. So in this case, we want to go ahead and check our menu. We have a couple of items here. Our popular ones are Atlantis and Twisted Sister, I believe. Those are very, very good. We get a lot of poor fish and grills here, so we don't really. We should probably remove that actually from the menu, but we'll leave this here. You can change your price markup on everything all at once, or you can go in individually and select this ignore, and then you can increase and decrease this as you see fit. But yeah, you can also go in and remove things here. There's also the move duplicate items. So if you like this lamp, you can just select the lamp and press duplicate, and then you can put one over here and over there like I've already done. So the game makes things easy for you to like reproduce what you've already done. There's all kinds of different options of chairs and windows and doors. So yeah, lots of different things. In this case, you'll get, if it's a second-hand table, because it's considered gross, it'll give you -2 ambiance, but a fancy table will give you +2 ambiance, so that's why I have these here. They cost more money, but they provide ambiance. Same with the second-hand wooden chair. When you add the fancy chairs, it increases, etc. So lots of little parts. This thing, these all add ambiance comparatively, as you can see. So like the wine bottles wall rack, that gives a +9. Guitar is 7. TV is 5. Table vase, napkin holder, they all have different ambiance ratings, and that can help you decide on what you want to put where. The outside stuff also has specific ratings. Wall vines you can put on the outside. Lights, again, which I already showed you over on the side here, that increased our ambiance around the bushes that we placed. So yeah, so there's a lot of different items here. There's also like seasonal stuff. So during Christmas they add a Christmas tree, etc. Different Chinese type things, ceiling lights, specific tables, and those all also have ambiance ratings. Bathrooms are all negative unless you have a sink. Those are plus. So as you can see, the toilets are very poor, so you want to keep those as far away as you can from the actual eating space. People will appreciate that. So let's move into the gameplay, and I'll show you kind of what that looks like. So when you start your day, you press open. Every hour or so, it will deliver your food. This is your minimum storage, so you can check how many of these you used yesterday, and then you can go ahead and make that minimum however you need to make it. I've got some of my minimums really high because these things are in multiple dishes and they get out the door real quick. And you can change this anytime, all the time, anytime you want. The storage is refrigerated storage, and there's dry storage on the racks here. In this case, we have 2 stoves, 2 fryers, and 2 grills. So here's our workers. People are going to be super impatient because it's snowing outside, so they won't like to wait. So when the tables fill up, they get very upset when they're outside. You'll see we have one person over here, another person enters through the back door. You have to assign people to tables, so if you select here, you can see that these are the 3 people that would be working the table, and so on. And you can change them at any time. There's also who cleans the bathroom. There's cleaning zones, which are this. So I have 3 areas, one for the dining room, one for the bathroom, one for the kitchen area. And so those are all things that you need to think about, as well as who is working on the stove. You can assign specific people to each appliance. Some people don't like certain appliances. So if I click on Tracy Daniels, I see that Adrian Powell, who's in first here, really loves working the grill. But if I go over here and I click on Blair, you'll notice that Adrian Powell and me, who's Buffalo Bill, do not like to work on the fryer. So those are all things that you can kind of deal with them as they come. And then the rest of the thing is pretty much automated. You're basically just watching and making sure that there's no disasters, which could be a fire, which is why there's fire extinguishers around here, and the people will automatically take care of those for you. They will freak out a bit, but they will take care of it for you. You can see little icons about what's happening with people. You can click on them. Your customers, they don't like sushi, they love healthy food, and they always have to go pee a lot. This gives you information about how your restaurant is doing. They didn't have ingredients left, so I must be running low on something, so I'll have to check my food storage. The thoughts, Joshua Patterson is calming, so I wonder if that's his person that he's with today. Could be. Oh no, he's by himself. Joshua Patterson right here. So he has a Zen spirit, so that person was making this other person feel comfortable. There's also customers that are upset a lot and things like that, so it will tell you that your wait staff is feeling upset. So yeah, it's a very involved game for what it is, and you can really kind of micromanage everything, which is pretty cool. So you can go in and tell people to take rests if they aren't, if their stamina is looking low. As you can see, mine is going down right now, and you can change the rest threshold. So once he gets to 40, he'll go rest, but you can also manually do it. So I'm making some money here. It's going pretty slowly. Normally I play on 2 or 3 speed. Once you get things in a rhythm, you can kind of afford to do that, but you definitely want to make sure that your people are in good spirits. As you can see, everybody's mood is good, 100% across the board here. So now we can check our ingredients and make sure that we have what we need. So we have all of these things stored. So let's go through these real quick. We have 13 of those. We use 2 of those. 26 of those. We have 18 on hand. So I think we should be okay. I should actually increase the shrimp because yesterday we used 31. And even though these come all the time, you just want to make sure that you have them on hand. So we'll increase that there for the next delivery. And now we kind of just sit back and watch. So what I do is I like to go to number 2 here. We'll zip through a couple of things. Oh yeah, notice a bunch of negatives here. And it's saying negative. I haven't figured out how to make them wait less time, but everybody gets a -5 for looking at the menu and waiting. I don't know why that is, but there's a couple of different reasons, I'm sure. I'll have to investigate those further, but... Alright, so one of them, somebody gave us a 1 star. So let's slow this down and look at the 1 star. I hate everything on the menu. Okay. He came to a seafood restaurant and doesn't like seafood, so there's nothing we can do about that. So that's okay. This is who he was with, this Danielle Gardner, and she loved everything on the menu. Everything's good. So I'm happy with that. Alright, so let's move this up again. Alright, we're back up to 95%. We had a 5-star right there, so that's great. As you can see, people are waiting here. And once this bar above their head goes down to 0, they'll walk away. But now it's getting busy. It's around 3 o'clock. Here we go. An excellent, perfect cooking of the undersea ribs. Alright, so he's upset. What does he say? We were going too fast, so we missed it. Oh, see, people are scaring them because that person is probably an angry person. Dylan Jenkins. Let's see if we can find. There we go. So now, these are his thoughts, right? Over here, this person is scary. Will unsettle nearby employees. So we don't really have to worry about that unless we have lots of scary people on one spot, which hasn't happened to me yet, but it's possible, I suppose. Alright, so we'll zip through. Alright, we're at 100% now. Awesome. Oh, here's another one. I hate everything on the menu. So that was probably another, I don't like seafood. Yep, doesn't like seafood. Comes to a seafood restaurant. As you can see, we got a dirty table over here, so hopefully we get over there, take care of that. Oh, got a lot of people at a dirty table, so we're going to need to up our cleaning here. So let's pause this for a second and see what we got going on here. So it's really busy. Well, we only have 2 people on this cleaning area. That's our problem. So let's, she's in the kitchen. He's in the kitchen. There we go. Gonna make sure we have all the people on the cleaning. Very important. Occasionally got this things pop up here, ingredient discount. You can go into the food storage and see which ones are discounted. We've just missed it, so it'll probably be, should actually increase this. Oh, we do have it increased. Should be good. So it'll say how much it's decreased by, and then you can add more if you want, if you're under. And that way you can save some money. Oh. Over time, as they're doing their jobs, they will get upgrade points, which you can add to them as it goes. Another 5-star. And we can check our ambiance rating. Everything looks pretty good in here still, all green. We got a dirty table there though. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can select here and make sure that their priorities are correct. So you can change them from serving to cleaning to cooking. So depending on who you are and where you're actually working, obviously people in the kitchen, you don't need them serving. They should be cooking and cleaning in the kitchen. And Tracy Daniels should be cooking and cleaning in the kitchen. And the same with Adrian Powell. And then same for him. He should be serving and cleaning like that. So I think we got everybody where they're supposed to be. Serving and cleaning, yes, okay. Now it's almost closing time, so this is how fast it goes. Closing time is around 8 p.m. Still have a fairly full restaurant though, so finish cleaning these things up, and then they'll get their food, and then they'll be gone. But it doesn't close until everybody's gone. And you don't really want to press the close now button, because all that does is removes all these people from their seats, and you lose all the funds that you would have already cooked with and stuff. So you want to make sure you try to stay open until the end if you can. Folks visiting the toilet at the end. Great sounds for the ambiance, you know. Didn't even wash his hands. What a gross, gross man. Getting some 5-star action over here. This is good. Oh, we got a level up right here for Janice. And we'll do love, love, love. High charisma. Perfect. Alright, so it's all clean and ready for the next day. I'll pause it here so we can go through and we can show you a little bit more closely what all this is. As you can see, I went from $800 or so or 700 and something after I did the stuff on the outside to 3,500 in one day. Now that doesn't happen until you've built up your restaurant to where mine is at this point, but this is when you can start really doing things in this game, like adding outdoor seating, adding more lights and things like that. You know, just making it look cool. So, you know, mine is looking pretty good. I've got like wall lights everywhere. I've got the lights over the tables and such. I'm actually missing a chair right here. That's interesting. So, you know, I can go in and throw one of my fancy chairs in there like that. And you can make sure that the kitchen has everything they need. They've got 3 fire extinguishers, which should be good. So yeah, you want to make sure that everything is as you want it, and it keeps everybody happy that's working for you. And there's all kinds of different stuff. There's how much they're being paid. Like if I click off of that and I go here, he'll give you thoughts about his day. My restaurant's popular. I'm learning so much. Cooking next to Adrian Powell is great. I'm making the most of my break, etc., etc. And then there's other people, you know, they're saying all these things. I'm learning so much. Full tables are cool. And then there's like her sister, Janice and Janice, is getting on her nerves. So yeah, lots of different little, you know, I'm the lowest paid here. All these different things. So you can, you know, manage your people and look at their moods throughout the day, and you'll have an idea of what's going on in your restaurant and be able to react accordingly. So it's really pretty cool. I really enjoy kind of watching how the day unfolds and building this up so you're making a maximum profit when you can. So then at the end of the day, it gives you this screen which goes over your popularity. So we increased our star rating from 3.4 to 3.7. Premises were relatively clean. So that's important because the more neutral ones you have, you know, it's only taking away from the positives, right? So we got a couple of negatives. They didn't have any ingredients left, so we missed some on that one. And the menu lacked dishes that suited my tastes, which are probably the people that don't like seafood coming to a seafood restaurant. Again, this one here. But they also don't have to like seafood. They can also say if they don't like things on the fryer or on the grill, and they only like things boiled, we only have one boiled thing. So maybe they like boiled stuff and we only had one thing, so it wasn't very cool for them. Terrible service things. This is probably during a poor cooking portion. Sometimes the people that are cooking don't do a great job. You probably heard some of those error messages go like that funky noise. That means that they cooked something poorly. And again, it's just a randomly generated thing. The higher their skill level, obviously, the less time it happens. Again, something not cooked quite well. And then one time Ian Palmer served them and it was poor. I think he's from the kitchen, so that was probably right. Two people must have been on break on the floor, so he had to go out and help, and that's probably why. Then you get your finances. So we made $26.60 today over negative 941. That I did some building yesterday, so that's why that's in such a negative. As you can see, we spent $3,300 on renovations yesterday, and I only spent $180 today. It's our staff. It breaks down whether they were cleaning, if they were tired, what they were doing all their times. So that it compares yesterday to today and how they're doing. As you can see, her stamina is higher today, but her stamina is lower today. Tracy's is higher, Adrian's is lower, Blair's is higher, Ian's is much higher, and mine was much higher. So we did a little bit more balancing, it looks like, so that's good. But it breaks down like idle time. You know, if people are just idling around not doing anything, then that's not helpful. So you want to make sure that you have them assigned to a specific task. If they're idle, they can clean. It's basically what it comes down to. Tastes. So this is kind of like how many of each person you had that liked the thing. So you had 8 people that don't like dairy but like fried and some sort of fish 8 times. Again, 4 with boiled and fish, but doesn't like lemon and gnocchi. 3 that liked all kinds of fish and grilled, but they don't like asparagus. So it gives you the breakdown of like all the different people that you had during the day, which is pretty cool. Like this person likes onions and grilled, but doesn't like basically any seafood. So it's not the best place for you to come. They like fruit salad, but don't not like anything, which is good. They don't like ice cream. What? 4 people don't like ice cream? What is wrong with you? Anyway, so yeah, it breaks it down for you, which is nice. It shows you the revenue types. So, you know, what's that? 65% of our revenue is coming from 3 separate dishes. So we could essentially remove smoked salmon and submarine and be making you know, only $300 less, which is pretty interesting. And then we move on to the next day. So again, it starts at the build menu, and then you can go on from there. I'm just going to purchase this plot. So all I have is one left, and then I will have gotten the bonus. Actually, I can buy the other one right now. There we go. So I played for 3 hours and managed to do everything in the objectives. So let's see what we can do on the next level. Okay. So at the beginning of each of these scenarios, there's always a bit of a story. I will pause it if you want to read it. I will leave it here for a second so you can read it through. All right, so it looks like this is a place in a ramshackle kind of location where folks that, you know, everything kind of went downhill. So it's your job to, my job as Buffalo Bill, to bring this back. Maybe I can name it Buffalo Bill's Ribs. So in order to win, you have to have 10 customers pay more than 100 euros for a single dish. You have to have a popularity of 50%, which is that thing at the bottom here that I had 100% in the last one. Total of 12 seated tables at the same time. So that can be 12 tables of one, but for the best, you want to give as many seats as you can. And then if you want the bonus, you can get 1 day in a row without a negative review, which is really hard. Lose conditions. You cannot go into debt. Yikes. Okay. So that means during the game, you cannot go into the negative. But normal, like in a normal game, if you're in the negative at some point during the game, like during that specific day, it's okay unless you get to the end of the day and you're not out of the negative yet. This means you can never be in debt. So you cannot go below $0 during the day at all. And Jamal, who is the son of this Bob person, quits or is fired. So similar to the other one where the two people had to be employed there the whole time. All right, so let's see what we got. So as you can see, there's a ton of like trash. We've got 3 deep fryers and a refrigerator. We don't have any storage of anything except for butter, pork ribs, chicken wing, pork loin, chili powder, smoked bacon. But we need all of these things as well. Okay, so let's do this. What we're going to do is we're going to buy a double fridge, rotate, and then we're going to delete this one. So now we have the storage, and we can't do sear because we don't have a stove. Okay, so we need a stove, and their break room is inside. Okay. I don't know if we should be inside for a break. No, that's not what I want to do. Whoops. All right. Move. Rotate. Not enough space. Oh, they can't be out here. I see. Okay. Because we don't own that part yet. Do we own this over here? Yeah, but nobody's going to want to take a break with all this garbage. All right, let's get rid of this. And we don't own that yet, so we can't do that. This is a back door to where? Interesting. Okay. So let's put let's take this out, and we'll put the back door over here, and then we'll take this and we'll put some grass down here. And maybe a tree or something. What does that ambiance look like? Still kind of yuck. We need some lights. Oops. It's better. Okay. So let's get some lights up here. There's no lights in here. Okay. So there's walls in between them, I guess. Okay. This is where the line starts. Let's get some lights on here by the door so people know where to go. All right. Put a little bit more shrubberies around here. And there's no windows in the kitchen at all, which is weird. I still need to buy a stove though. Rotate. All right. Some trash over here. Let's move this. And then put like that. We can get some more chairs. What kind of chair is that? Fancy wooden chair. There we go. All right, so I think for $4,000 we're doing okay, but we need another window or something. We need 2 windows maybe, or a window over here at least, and maybe one on this side. Because there's just no light getting in here. There we go. And then painting. And a plant. Nope. Inside plant. I don't even think there's lights over here. That's not great. Okay. All right. So now, let's go into food storage and make sure that we can get this food. So we'll do 4 of these, 4 of those, 4 of those, 4 of those, 5 of those, 8 of those, 3, 3, 3. Let's keep 6 of those on, 8 of those on hand. Those on hand. 5 of those, 4 of those, 4 of the, okay. And done. And open. Okay, so now we can pause this. What has Jamal got? He's great with the fryer and okay with the stove. Okay. We can do. Who else do we have working here? Anybody? Me and Jamal. Okay, so we don't have a grill, so I'm going to be the server in this particular case, I think. So. Increase the effort. And here it's going to be me. And then we got to create cleaning areas. So we're going to do create here. It's going to be Jamal. And then create another one here. It's going to be me. Another one here, which is going to be me. And then as we add more people, we will change that up. So let's press play again. See what happens. So these are all the always the tough times, right? So it's 10:30 in the morning. Nobody's really looking for anything to eat just yet. But we're kind of stuck with, oh, here we go. Got one person coming in. Take the order. All right, so running low on beef. So let's up those 2 as well. Oh, we can't do that because we don't have enough refrigerator storage. Okay. And this bar comes up to show how long they've been waiting for their food and whether they're going to get upset or not. See what she thinks here. Got more people coming in. Okay, we got a 4-star. That's good. Run out of storage pretty quick here. Let's see. Don't really want to build another refrigerator if I don't have to yet. Alright, it's raining outside, so people are going to be upset if they have to wait outside, but it doesn't look like there's anybody waiting just yet. Oh. Poor cooking. Oh dear. These folks ordered a lot, it looks like. Okay, 4 stars, not bad. Three stars. So we're getting to the point where we might have to make him work over here. Because he's got to take a break. I think we might need another cook. So let's see who we got here. Doesn't like the stove, doesn't like cutting. Good server. Okay in the fryer, okay in the stove. Let's do it. Okay, so now we can put let me go here, and do Nicholas, and here and do Nicholas, and here and do Nicholas. And also, what else? Can we look at his... But he should be cooking, serving, then cleaning. Yes, okay. Perfect. I think we gotta bump him up a little bit more. There we go. Turn up the speed. Alright, 2 stars. Not great, not terrible. Alright, pause. Ingredient discount, so we gotta check here. Bananas are low. Chicken wings are low. We already have a lot of these, so we don't have to do anything with that. I want more honey, though. Okay. $149 with a 2-star. Alright, new request. Alright, so this is the other part of the game. When you get something like this, it's called a Recipe Plus. None of my favorite dishes are served here. I wish they had fried spiced pumpkin on the menu. So we go to Recipe Plus, and currently, let me guess, it's too cheap. Okay. So we're deep frying pumpkin. The easiest way I've found to increase the price of this is actually add something to it. So like a fried fish or a fried meat or a cooked meat or whatever. So you could do something that you have already, like a chicken wing. So you could do deep fried chicken wing. And you want to try to keep it to something you have. Like if you had pepper, you could put that there, or like honey. If you want to make it spicy, you could put chili powder on your chicken wing, or mustard on your chicken wing, or stuff like that. So you just gotta kind of experiment with maybe like what you might have. It's still too cheap because the chicken wings are $1. So you got to get this up to like $4, I think. $4, I think. Which can be troublesome sometimes, unfortunately. Especially when you don't have a lot of things. So you could also do oil. Do we not have rice? I don't have anything in here. Okay, so there we go. So you get your fried chicken wing with spiced pumpkin. Save that. And then we got to make sure that this is all dry storage, so this is good. So we'll add 5 of those. so 3 stars, that's not bad. So I think what's going to happen here is we're going to need to add probably 2 more tables to give us a little bit more volume of customers. So I'm going to pause this. As you can see, all these people are waiting because our popularity is going up rather. And so unfortunately, when you have all these people waiting, like these people are going to have to leave before they're even done. So if you don't manage that quickly enough, then you're going to be in a tough spot. So let's one more of those. And then assign them appropriately. Alright, so now I've got 4 tables. So I should take myself off of this. I think I'm not in any of those. Okay. And I mean, I may need another server as well, so we're going to speed this up and see how we do. Alright, so they were happy with that. That's good. Alright, let's check our stock here. Alright, we're getting stuff delivered. And a lot of stuff delivered. Okay. I think we should be good. Oh, we definitely need more lights. Whoops. Lights, please. That's better. You can see what they're doing. Pause. Sometimes you'll get this, right? I didn't know what this was at first. It's somebody saying they want to be hired. So you walk over to them. So if that's too expensive, you feel like, you can negotiate them, or you can hire them on the spot. So I try to negotiate first usually. Cool. Quite a bit. So now, he's super good on the fryer, which is awesome, since we got 3 of them. Yep. I didn't put a light in that bathroom, did I? Yes, I did. It's right there. That's a big bill, 126 bucks for one person. Alright, he loves serving, so maybe we can move him to serving as well. Oh, he doesn't like serving. Okay. So we may need a server after this as well. It looks like we're almost closed now, so we just have a couple of customers left. So we'll wait until they finish up, and we'll see where we're at. But right now we're in the positive, which is good. You also got to make sure that your toilets are clean, like I said, so make sure you assign a cleaning area. But yeah, it's pretty relaxing, pretty chill game. I really enjoy kind of making things look how I want. There's all kinds of options of how you can dress your... Oh, active disaster. Nicholas is heading over there to plunge. Alright, and they're off. So we'll see how we did here. Obviously there's going to be a lot of negatives because we put a lot of devices and items in. Okay. The restaurant looks amazing, incredibly fast. We went up to 20%. We got a 3.2 star. Restaurant was clean. Everything was spotless. House of Ribs was priced fairly. So this means we can go up with the price. I think it said you can increase it to like 600% from where it is. I didn't give good service. That's probably because I took forever because I didn't have another server, so I may need to add one. Yeah, so we're negative 2892, but we took in 1130 in orders, and we removed enough stuff to add 200. So that's pretty good. Ross was idle a lot, but he just started at the end of the day. But otherwise, everything looks good. We might have to hire a server, though. Seems like all the right people are coming here so far. The House of Ribs is a big seller, and golden ribs, so we got to make sure that those are in stock all the time. Okay. So let's go up to 520. Fried spiced pork belly. So again, you can always scroll back to these and add the recipe later. Right now I'm not going to add anything else. We already are like very, very big on the... Like, look at all this. Holy cow, there's so much stuff in this. Shrimp, beef, pork, ground beef, banana. Incredible. Okay. Okay. So, and then as time goes, you can like buy these plots and remove all this garbage so you get more people interested in what you're doing here. But for now, we're gonna deal with what we got. I want to put a window in the kitchen. Maybe I'll do it in the back. Let's do a common wide window like that. Let's check the aesthetics or the ambiance. So it's all green here. Probably could use something over here to add some ambiance. So I will put a wall vase there. And then another potted plant over here, I think. There we go. Okay. Now, let's get to opening, and we get started. Oh, they reduce cooking time. The fancy stuff reduces cooking time. Interesting. All right, so still learning things. See that? All right. It's hard to know how far to stay ahead without going too bananas. Teehee. Okay. That was a big bill. Nice. Gonna have to build a bigger refrigerator or add another one. Alright, let's pause this. I got plenty of room for all our stuff. This is where you get carried away, right? You got all these people waiting out here, you got everything going on, and you want to put more stuff in, but if you do it too fast, then you end up in real debt really quick, and you want to do it at a slow, kind of slow pace rate, and you got to deal with it not, you know, quickly, but reasonably. You got to do it reasonably quickly so that you're not running behind all the time, but you also have to think about doing everything too fast, and then you're in trouble, you know. So that's why I like this game. You can really start micromanaging, making sure that everybody's rested manually. You can play it really slow like this and go check on each individual thing and really get everything, you know, working just how you want it real quick. Like, so it's fun to do. It's really enjoyable. There's a lot of kind of nuance to everything. Like here, this guy, he's like, I'm just so tired of waiting for this, I'm just leaving here in a minute, and he's not going to get in here because there's not going to be enough time now. So it's just interesting how the game works out. It's a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun. I've had a great time with it, and really happy it was free. I think it's not too much money anyway, as far as I remember, but if you nab it pretty quick, it might still be free, actually. Maybe today's the last day, I'm not exactly sure. But again, give it a try. It's pretty enjoyable. Hey everyone, thanks for hanging out with me, checking out Recipe for Disaster and a couple of playthrough moments here with some instruction on how it all works. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and maybe it's a game that you find fun to play. It's actually pretty fun for my son and I to go through it and play it. He likes making new recipes himself, and going through and seeing the reactions of everybody that they didn't like something or they did like something, and all the recipes. So it is fun to play with family. There's nothing that's any kind of vulgar or anything like that in this game, so you can go ahead and you can play it with the kiddos and make recipes with them. And the sandbox mode is excellent because you can build a huge restaurant if you want, with all kinds of everything everywhere, and because money doesn't matter, right? So just make sure that you tell them if you bought it and you enjoy it that Half-Ass Gaming sent you. We'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye.